Oh, crash. Hey, what's up everyone? It's Ori here, and today I'm going to talk about a little different adventure. I think about 2 months ago, I started to get this idea of wanting to make YouTube videos, and little knowledge that I had, I started purchasing some gear. And one of the images that I liked in almost any YouTube video were the aerial shots that were made by drones. So I started looking, what type of drone do I need? What different drones are there? And I figured out it was just about when the DJI Mini 5 Pro was going to be released. And that's exactly the drone that I got. So I bought the DJI Mini 5 Pro. This is a great drone for aerial shots because it is under 250 grams, which means in European rules for flying drones, you can fly almost anywhere. And it's slightly better than its predecessor, the Mini 4, because this camera has got upgraded with a bigger sensor. I didn't know the whole jazz about it, but I knew that it would give better image quality and the price point would stay the same. While I was still on a budget and it's not the cheapest drone out there, I figured this is the drone I want. So I got the drone, I unpacked it, it looked great. I was super scared of flying it, mostly because a lot of my savings has gone into this thing and I didn't want to crash it the moment I purchased it. First I went and used this controller, and in the controller there's a little simulator, so I sat on the couch flying in the simulator, just using the joysticks. And then I went and did my very first flight with it. And I captured some images of me and a friend doing some mountain biking. But I was still super scared of flying it, although I got the hang of flying this drone pretty quickly. But it is quite difficult to get beautiful images. Like just flying a drone and using your sticks very rapidly to position the drone gives very janky and crappy images that you can't really use. So I went online and figured out how to fly it properly by, keeping the joysticks in a certain position so it would fly beautifully over a piece of scenery and give you a nice shot. It's very hard to crash it because it's got all these sensors. So yeah, I really like flying this and making beautiful images, and I would love to take it out of the country for some trips, because as much as aerial images are amazing, if you're not shooting architecture here in the Netherlands, what you get is trees or flat land. So it's quite boring. I can't imagine how much fun it would be to fly this thing through mountains or stuff. Mountains, Gandalf, mountains. But then I figured out that I also wanted to shoot some stuff that was more on the action, more dynamic. And I quickly found out that, oh, this guy needs to spend more money on this hobby. I need to also buy a FPV drone. And with FPV drones, the thing is that most of the FPV drones that you can get are either self-built, or you need to purchase separate batteries and you need to upload all kinds of settings. So the level of learning that you have to do before actually flying one is super high. I did not want to do that, at least not yet. I wanted to start flying straight away, or at least as quickly as I could. And then afterwards, maybe, when I want to go to the next step, I'll figure out how to charge a LiPo battery or some stuff like that. So I purchased another DJI product. I got the Avata 2. This time I got it secondhand from someone who had a great deal. It came with a flight case, and I did get the one with the new goggles. The DJI Goggles 3 with the battery on the back of your head, and it's supposed to be more comfy and better image quality and blah, 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 blah. I don't know. People said that on the internet, and I trust them. I trust the internet. But yeah, as you can see, this drone is a little different. You fly it with goggles on, because FPV stands for first person view. So you fly this drone as if you were in it, as if you were looking through the camera yourself. Everybody advises the first thing you do when you purchase any of these drones is to put on a simulator and start flying there, because there's a couple of ways that you can fly these drones. First off, you can fly it in normal mode. Then it behaves exactly like this one, right? But then it's basically a worse drone because the flight time is shorter, the image quality, I think they have the same sensor, but this one has a multi-axis gimbal, so it can make beautiful images, and this one is locked. So it only follows the drone. It can slice you up pretty badly, meaning you can fly it indoors. So even in normal mode, you could still fly this through your house and make some great images that way. We recently had our housewarming since we just had a new house, and we kept giving people tours throughout the house. And my little boy kept saying, "Hey, let's give a housewarming." And I said, "We just had one." But he meant the tour through the house. So in order to test the indoor flying capabilities, how about I give you guys a little housewarming with the Avata 2. Let's go. Connecting to the Avata, which is not because it's not turned on. Connected. Little housewarming with the Avata 2. So there we have our dining table. Hey, welcome to our kitchen. As you can see, we'll move here. Go up a little bit. And then let's move upstairs. But here we are in our kids' bedroom. Which is pretty. And outside, out of the front. Back. Continue the tour of our yard. It's also a mess. And there we go. We're back here. And let's land. That was my housewarming. What do you guys think of our housewarming? The cats didn't like it, that's for sure. But hey, you can fly this thing indoors. Now let's close the windows before everybody loses their mind. But the real deal is flying it in manual mode. Now, manual mode is a different beast, and flying a drone in manual mode is not an out-of-the-box experience, right? So it's not you unbox it, you take the little plastic sheet off of the screen that you're looking at, and you start flying it, and then it's okay. No, manual mode is very difficult, and it all starts with this controller, and it looks almost like a PlayStation controller. Yeah, come on, you can focus. Yeah, it looks almost like a PlayStation controller, minus the buttons. But there's one big difference, that this controller here has a spring that recenters the stick, while this one does recenter it left and right, but up and down it does not. And that is because when you fly this drone in manual mode, the inputs that you give to the drone are different. So no longer is this stick saying up and down. No, it's saying how much throttle or how fast the propellers spin. Faster propellers means the drone goes up. Slower propellers means the drone goes down. But if you want to hover somewhere, you have to figure out exactly the right amount of thrust. And that varies from how full or empty your battery is. So you need this one to not constantly want to go back to the middle, because as soon as it goes back to the middle, the drone might start flying upwards or downwards. So that's one major difference. Now the other difference is, with this type of drone or the other one in manual mode, this little trigger means going forward. So normally that would mean going forward, going backwards, strafing left or right. But now this is different. This angles the aircraft forward, and as you, this means how fast it's angling. So if I keep it at an angle like this, the drone will start doing a full front flip. And as soon as it's centered, the drone stays in a position. So if I push it forward a little bit, that means the drone would angle forward a little bit. And if I then recenter the joystick, the drone will stay here. Now, when it's angled this way, when you put some extra thrust, it starts flying forward. So obviously, when you have this controller, you have to constantly manage the angle of the drone in all directions and also how much it rotates while playing with the thrust to make sure that it stays at the level that you want, which requires very precise inputs for flying very smoothly. But when you want to do tricks, like for example a flip or etc., you have to boost it on the throttle, and it gives a great sound because then the propeller starts spinning up and you hear the drone going up. It's really rewarding. And then sometimes when you're upside down in the air, obviously you do not want to have any thrust, because if the drone is upside down and the propeller starts generating thrust, it would fall down faster. So you're playing a lot with this joystick and you want it to be where you leave it, and you do not want the thing to recenter it to some value that's not beneficial. Which means when you start flying this thing in manual mode, you need to have some experience, because otherwise you're going to crash it. Now, the reason I like this DJI drone is because of this button here. And that here is the pause button. So say you're flying in manual mode and you think you're going to crash. You press that button and it goes back to normal mode. It uses the GPS signal, boom, and it starts hovering straight away. That's really good because it can prevent a lot of crashes for beginners, and crashing your drone, while it's going to happen if you're going to learn to fly close to things anyway, or so I'm told, the best thing is to not crash as much. So yeah, first thing first, I had to fly in a simulator, and I was flying everywhere because I really wanted to make this work. So I was flying in the bouldering gym, on the couch. I went to a board gaming weekend. I got the drone. The first thing I did was launch up my laptop to just do a little bit of flying, and here's how that went. Terrible. Just woke up in some weird hotel thingy, and I got the joystick. Now, before I start crashing this drone, this will be my very first audacious try in the FPV simulator stadium. Arm, throttle.
Gewoon 1 keer vooruit en gewoon het ding crashen.
Oh.
Oh, die vliegt, die vliegt.
Oh, dit is niet makkelijk, gast. How do people fly this stuff? But, you know, sooner or later, I did get the hang of it, and the drone was in the air more than it was on the ground. And I started doing some flips and some tricks. Now, while I was flying in a free-to-play simulator first, because I did not want to waste money on a simulator, I quickly realized that this simulator had some very crappy physics, and it would be nice to actually get a paid simulator. So I went to Steam, I downloaded Liftoff, started flying there, and the moment I started flying there, I figured, hey, I can actually do this, because the drone was slightly less snappy than it was in the previous one, and it was easier to fly. And I said, hey, if this is what the drone actually flies like, then I might have a good shot at actually flying this drone right now. I went to the workshop, I downloaded the DJI Avata 2 drone. It doesn't really look like it, but it handles pretty much like this one. At least that's what they said. So I got the highest rated one, installed it, and started learning how to fly on the Avata 2. Up until the point where I said, you know what, forget about the simulators. I think I clocked about 5 or 6 hours in the simulator, and I said, I think I can fly it. So yesterday we went to a field nearby. I needed a nice open field, and we started to fly the drone. Well, I started to fly the drone. I brought a chair. I brought my wife. So here we got our nice little setup. We're at the heatlands, and the sun is out. There's a little bit of wind, so I'm not 100% sure how easy it will be to fly, but I clocked like 7 hours in the simulator. So I think this is about the moment where we try and fly for the real deal. Nice open field, and yeah, that's my wife. Hello. The dan moet ik hierop. It's so weird to see myself sitting there. It's so raar. When you get lower on the battery, you notice the power drop in the drone, and it becomes so much harder to steer. Like you cannot, for example, I was flying into a tree and I wanted to bank it and push the throttle, and I really had to max it out, and still it was lacking power, but I was already flying like what, 9 minutes or something like that, which I think is pretty good for a drone. But yeah, I did some loops, I flew some flips. I got one more battery with a little bit in it. I'm just gonna make one more flight, but it's also kind of cold and windy. But I can fly the FPV drone in manual mode without crashing it. I think that's pretty rad. So yeah, good purchase. My main man with a midlife crisis found himself a new hobby. I kept it in the air. I didn't crash. I did a couple of power loops. I did a couple of sideways loop. I did a couple of front flips. I tried to fly low to the ground, but it was really difficult for me because I had this FPV goggle on. Since I've done quite a few things with VR goggles, I kept thinking if I turn my head, I will turn the drone or the image, but that doesn't work. So you'll see me looking like this into this thing when it makes no sense, because I just need to look straight forward. But yeah, I mean, I got the knack of flying it. I'm charging the batteries, currently waiting for the weather to be better so I can do some more flying. So I checked around a little bit with this guy, and what I found out is that if you put the HQ 3x3x3 props on, it flies a lot better. And since last Thursday was my first flight, and I knew that there was still quite some prop wash, which means the drone flies through its own turbulent air, and this one's supposed to have a lot less of that. So I found a field, and I'm gonna give it a go. Second flight ever. Completely open field, so it's not going to be, I mean, if I crash, I'm going to crash in the grass, and probably I'll just have to walk through the mud to get it. I don't know, I have to get my hours in. HQ prop, 3x3x3, high-pitched prop. Nice color, by the way. Put it into... How much angle? 20 degrees. Okay, let's see. I mean, there's wind. Quick. Yeah, there's a lot of wind.
And I want to fly lower, but the wind's playing with it a lot. And people that can fly on the same altitude, really impressive. I'm still bouncing a lot, trying to figure out. Also, the throttle response is still pretty good when the battery is full. Hello. It wobbles, but it works. I mean, is there a gap here that I can fly through? This is the dog place, it's empty. Yeah, it's throttling pretty hard just to keep away from the wind. There's a lot of wind coming this way. Ooh, you feel the wind taking it. Woo. Yes, good practice. Hey, it's easier to hover than I thought. It's easier to hover than in the simulators. I'm already getting cold fingers, so my dexterity is going down the drain, but I'm getting lots of flight time with these props. I'm at 4.5 minutes and the battery's still at 60%. That's crazy. And I'm learning how to not use my face for rotation, but actually the drone, so that's pretty nice. Yeah, throttle's going up a bit. These trees are not gappable, it looks like. Well. Hello.
I think it'll be quite interesting to get good at this stuff. I'm hoping to get good enough so I can start shooting some sports events. There's a sport event coming up in May here in Deventer, where it's called the Vedette Ronde. I did it last year as well, where they make a mountain biking course through the city of Deventer, and you even fly through a building. So I hope by that time that I'm good enough that I can actually film the whole event with the drones, with my action cam attached as I do my own little tour, and really make a nice video out of that and get this videography hobby into something more professional. But for now, I really just want to make cool images with these drones, learn how to fly this guy through smaller gaps. That's my drone experience so far. I'm really enjoying it, and I'm gonna make loads and loads more images with these drones, more videos. Hopefully soon I'll be going to the south of Spain somewhere, and I'll take both of them with me and get some nice mountains and some coastline into the view. I'm super excited. I'm really liking this hobby so far. And I hope you enjoy the images as well. If you want to stay tuned for more adventures, like and subscribe to the channel. I'm going to an indoor mountain biking park pretty soon because the weather outside is drab. It's got some jumps, some cool tricky bits, so it might be a cool adventure. Stay tuned for that one. And if you want to see more drone stuff, definitely stay tuned because soon I'll be releasing another video when I get the chance to make better images. Catch you in the next one. Bye.